You want to do the introduction, Yahe? 7:04?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, June 17th. This is the Leadership Committee meeting. We do have a quorum, so we will get started. It is 7:04 p.m. And let's go to the agenda. Let's review the minutes for May. Jeremy, if you can pull them up, we'll just scroll slowly so everybody gets an opportunity at least to give them a glance.
Yeah, we don't
Refresh their
have
memory.
we don't have a draft that's worth voting on right now.
Okay.
So there's miscommunication apparently. So we do have a draft, but it's not a final draft that is worthy of voting on. So anybody wants a copy of the current draft, we can give it to them, but it's not worth voting on. I mean, I can bring it up, but it's not, it's not publishable.
Okay.
So it's up to you what you want me to do. If you want to,
Yeah, I think what would happen, because we won't be able to vote on it until September. So would we
Yep.
be able to just vote on the draft that we have right now, just to
I
make
don't
sure
think
we're
so.
official? No?
No, because it's not. Remember, I did an outline. I did the attendance. I did. You and I did certain sections of the minutes, but there's still gaps in a lot of it.
Okay.
I mean, I can pull it up, but some of it's going to be from the previous meeting, which is not relevant to. So basically, the April meeting versus the May meeting, because I always use that format as a base.
Yeah,
Oh,
hey, the
Jeremy,
communication
you-
issue was I saw you and Jeremy going back with the minutes, and I had asked if it had been completed, and I assumed it had been completed, so I didn't add anything else to the draft that Jeremy had. So I can continue doing that and get it finalized. And unfortunately, it was my miscommunication. I thought it had been finalized.
Okay,
Not
no
a
worries.
I think
Do you
we,
want-
as long as Jeremy, as long as you get it out before September and people have a chance to read it, we'll vote on it in September.
And we can put a draft up online once it's more publishable.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I don't know if everybody's noticed now that I'm doing a watermark where it says draft, and it's actually pretty easy to put on and put off. It's much more easier than I thought. Okay, so do you want to go to the next agenda item then?
Yes, so we'll go to the full board agenda for June.
Pull that up. Oh, come on, where'd you go? Does everybody see that?
I don't see anything. Yep, there it goes.
Okay, just a delay then. Okay,
All right, looks like the biggest thing that we have here with the change with the top part is the item number 3, which is the 45-minute Q&A for DOT to come in to talk about the e-scooter program.
and we got NYPD who we've asked to come. Can't guarantee it necessarily, but we definitely want them there in relation to the scooter program.
Okay.
I wouldn't hold my breath that they're gonna come because it's also the fireworks that evening.
Yeah, Orchard Beach.
Yeah,
And we always mention this all the time, and I feel like we don't do it intentionally. We just forget every year where
Oh.
we all want to attend the fireworks, right? But we can't because we have a community board meeting. So if someone can do me a favor next year, when we meet in May, maybe we can move the general meeting to Wednesday.
Yeah, well, the problem is last year they didn't do it, and then I think they just announced it the other day. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens because we'll have different electives too next year. That's a good point. We should. I don't know how we'll remember that, but I guess I can put it on the calendar once we get to the calendar. I can put it on the May calendar or the program. Check for fireworks on the June calendar.
Yeah, and
How
it's
about
too late to it's too late to change the meeting, right?
I think so. I mean, you guys want to push it back? You could probably.
Well, saying move
oh,
it, you mean move it
no.
up?
Well, I mean, you could try moving it up, but I think that's going to throw everybody off. We have an election too.
Jeremy, do you mean to
Oh
move
yeah,
it to
yeah.
July?
I would just keep it as is. I mean, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I would keep it as is. It's a Thursday. It's June. Otherwise, so I'm looking at the calendar. We move in. If we push it back a week, we move into July. I don't know. I don't know. Technically, our bylaws call for an election in June.
Yeah. No, the only hope we had was to move it up one day, but if it's going to
There's
mess
no way
anything
to
up,
push it back to the Wednesday, the day before?
I mean, if you guys really want to, I mean, well, I mean, I know some people. I know Al. I think you have a community association meeting, don't you? Or was that last night?
Yeah, no, it's next week, but I can do both.
Okay. It's up to you guys.
I don't know how many people would be attending the fireworks. Usually quite a few of the board members would be going to the fireworks, so I don't know. If they're not going, it's no big deal.
Yeah, is anybody here going to the fireworks? Would they be going? That's the real question, right? I mean, the rest of the membership, I think it's largely the people who've been here a while that know about it.
Well, the only reason I would have gone to make an appearance just to show my support and then leave. I never stay for the fireworks. But it's not a big deal for me.
okay. Well, I guess we're here. We have the leadership committee here. Al is neutral. Anyone else want to voice their opinion?
I have a personal problem with coming on Wednesday, but other than that, I have no objection to it. Can we possibly, do we have absentee voting for the election? Any way of doing that?
As far as I know, no. You have to be
Okay.
present to vote. I can double check the bylaws, but as far as I know, you have to be present to vote.
And Kenny, even if it was pushed back to Wednesday the 30th, it's still an issue. Wednesday's the issue.
Wednesday is personally is an issue for me personally.
Okay,
That's what I'm.
And then Tuesday's the precinct council meeting, right?
correct.
So that would probably be a problem for some people.
How about July 1st?
What about Monday? What about Monday in June?
That's fine.
28th, the 28th.
28 works.
How about everybody else?
I can't do Monday.
Oh.
I mean, I could, since it's virtual, so I'm okay with doing Monday.
Okay.
But just I can't. I forgot that we were. I'm thinking of the fireworks now because I'm leaning towards. I would like to go to the fireworks, but if
So-
everyone wants to stay with the 24th, I'm totally okay with it. This comes first.
So Hazel, Andrea, you haven't said anything yet? Or Joe Baycoat? Veronica?
And also, honestly, since it's a virtual meeting, I can see myself at Orchard Beach, with the earpiece in my ear and enjoying the fireworks.
I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is there, though, to connect.
Yeah, hey, you said you
That is
can't make it
definitely
Monday.
no work. Yeah, Mondays, Sundays and Mondays are tough for me because I work in the evenings.
Oh.
But I can do it. I can do it actually. I can log in. I'm at work now, and I'm on my break. I'm on my personal break, so I'm able to join the meeting.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I've seen those fireworks so many times. I'm not going to be going, so.
So, Andrea,
It doesn't make a
So-
difference. If I want to go, so I just won't attend the meeting. Don't worry about it.
Joe, Keiko?
I go with the 24th.
Okay,
All right, Jeremy, I think we might as well just keep it on the 24th then.
okay. So so you still see the agenda, right?
Yes.
So the motion to approve the May minutes, I heard there was some confusion at last night's Economic Development Committee about what was actually voted on in May. So I highly encourage everybody to go to the website if you don't want to check out your email with the May minutes and review the May minutes to make sure we're clear on what was approved or objected to in May. I was going to send an email out to that effect, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
please, Jeremy, if you can send an email out
Okay.
before next Thursday, that would be great.
but there is a draft online.
What was the discrepancy? I looked at them and I didn't see anything, so what did I overlook?
A couple people thought we did not object to a liquor license establishment when in fact we did. El Torito. Because people thought, we remember we didn't object on the egress issue. We just objected to, well, we like the status quo, or so why should they get it, more than that? But there's a couple, from what I've been told, I could be wrong. I think Al was in that meeting. And Veronica.
Yes, there was some confusion as to whether or not we objected or did not object to the SLA license. So, it wasn't cleared up at the meeting, but the meeting minutes for last economic development meeting are correct. So that's what they should be referring to.
Good. And then
Actually, just a side note, at the meeting, economic development meeting, we tabled it. It's actually the full board meeting that has the letter of objection vote to go to SLA, just for clarification.
Great, thank you. All right, so moving on with the agenda for, committee reports, I would say is the next most pertinent thing. Bylaws, economic development. The 3 proposed amendments. Just so everybody's aware, one of the proposed amendments is putting our conduct statement into our bylaws. It has been updated from what we did in the fall. And I put this here temporarily on this agenda. I can go back to the old statement. It's really up to the committee here. If you want to use the updated version or proposed update, or keep the old one, which is still on the website. For leadership agenda tonight, Yahe went with the new version. This is the new version. I don't know if anybody really cares for the difference. But that's one of the proposed amendments. So unless there's any questions, the bylaw minutes were sent out. They are on the website. And then we had last night, I was informed that there were no objections for everything that came before the committee. Is that correct, Veronica?
That's correct.
Because I don't think Joe's in tonight.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
Okay. And then we have an election for treasurer and sergeant at arms. I'm finalizing the ballot, and I've been in conversation with Joanne Rubino. I know we got 2 statements from the sergeant at arms. I spoke to Veronica about a statement for treasurer, and she will get us one. Is there any other committee that met this month? That had anything they voted on that's worth putting on the full board agenda?
I don't think so. The only thing, Jeremy, I wanted to discuss the chairs and co-chairs.
Yes,
Every committee should have a co-chair. Should we put it in the next week's meeting since we have some of those chairs missing that don't have co-chairs?
so did you, and I can share this email with everybody if you want, did you see my email about who exactly has chairs and co-chairs and who doesn't?
I did. Yeah, I saw it.
I can
Let's
pull
see.
it up if you want.
Let's see. Ethics. Do we have anyone from ethics on tonight? No, right?
Nope,
No one from parks. No one from sanitation. No one from transportation.
no, Rabbi's here.
Oh, Rabbi.
I'm here from ethics.
Who's from ethics? Yeah, Ken, you're in ethics, but you're not a co-chair. So did anyone tell? The thing is, this is what we were running into for today. I mean, we got lucky and we have a quorum, but we received a few notifications that the chairs could not attend, the committee chairs. And we were concerned because those committee chairs that told us they weren't going to come in, they didn't have any co-chairs to put in their place. And we were thinking, what if you just assign someone like Kenny? You're in ethics, right? What if John Johnson called you and said, "Hey, can you go on my behalf?" The problem is you're here for another committee and you can only vote once. And then the issue is the bylaws don't allow that. You can't just assign someone for the leadership committee meeting. So we really need co-chairs for every single committee as a backup.
So for standing committees, non-standing committees don't matter for leadership, but if you
Yeah.
if you look here, if you can see my screen, you got seven committees versus 5 without a line of succession. So in the case of leadership, the treasurer would take over as acting vice chair or the chair of the committee. So I don't know I think that should be reflected on the website in some way, whether we say co-chair or acting chair. But that aside, it's pretty clear. We got a majority.
Jeremy, send out a memo telling all the chairs that they
Yeah.
need to appoint the co-chair. That's all.
Yep. No, I was going to do that. I just forgot to do that.
Al, Al and Jeremy, do they need approval from Al in
Yes, I
order
do.
to assign someone as the co-chair?
Yep. Al has the appointment power. Al alone.
Okay. So
Yeah,
for the folks that are,
Usually I'll never override a chair. In other words, I select the chair and then the chair, I have enough confidence in the chair that I select to pick somebody who's appropriate for the co-chair. But I do hold the power to reject somebody, but I've never used it and I don't see any reason to.
okay. So Rabbi, for transportation, can you start thinking of a co-chair for your committee?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Veronica, same thing for public safety. If you can start thinking of someone.
Okay, well,
And if they're not on your committee, think about getting them on your committee.
Yeah. Lisa's not here from Parks. John is not here from Ethics.
Yep. Joanne and Lisa were excused, and so is Diane for tonight.
Lisa. Okay, so there's no other committees here that are here? Nope.
Not that I know of.
I'm here.
Oh yeah, Andrea.
Andrea.
Yes, I'm sorry. Andrea doesn't have a co-chair as well.
Andrea, what committee?
Community development, budget priorities.
Okay, if you can start thinking of someone, how many members do you have in your committee?
I have no idea.
I think it's
At
5
one
total.
time,
currently.
at one time, I was the only person on the committee, so it varies.
Okay, start thinking of recruiting 1 or 2 people and.
I'd like to wait to see who our new appointees are, and then if anybody gets put on that committee, and then I'll make a decision.
I think that's what Lisa was waiting for too, Yahe, because I know when she told me she couldn't come tonight, I remember, I think this is what started the conversation. It's like, oh, well, maybe you should have a co-chair. And so she basically said the same thing to me. She wants to wait, or she
Okay,
wants to see.
Yeah, if we get someone new on the board, we shouldn't appoint them as this is what I think, co-chairs, or as soon as they enter their first committee meeting, start thinking of giving it to someone who's been on the community board or on the committee for a little bit. They have a little bit more experience. They can speak on your behalf. And when those new folks come in and they get seasoned, maybe we can start moving them up. That's my suggestion instead of waiting.
Yeah, I think the only exception to that maybe, Yahe, would be somebody like Hazel, who was on the board for a long time. And when she rejoined, she had probably more experience than most of the board members at that point. So that may be the only exception to that, I would say.
Yeah, well, Hazel's like one in a million, so I don't think we'll run into anything like that.
Yeah.
So
No, maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, even if we get lucky, we're not going to get lucky with 5 committees. Okay, so
Yeah.
I just think that
7.
everyone should just think of someone, and if you have someone in mind for next week, listen, appoint them for a month, appoint them for June and for September. You can always change it. Doesn't have to stick forever. We just need a backup.
Yeah, it'd be really good for
So-
September. Yeah.
Yeah, and for those folks for September, those folks are new. And if you can't make it to the September meeting, at least you want someone that knows where 1200 Van Nest Avenue is. Just think of it that way. That's my suggestion. But we can move on, Jeremy, if you want to pull up the agenda again.
So full
I
board
think,
agenda, right?
Yeah. So, well, for the
Yeah.
full board agenda, we didn't have anything else. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the full board.
Well, we did have 3, just let me announce, we have currently 3 gallery session speakers, just so everybody's aware: Morris Park Business Improvement District, Department of Sanitation, and the Morris Park Library, which if everybody didn't see, just reopened. And then the electeds. But other than that, all business, new business. So go ahead.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the June 2021 agenda for next week's meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll
I
second it.
All right, I heard Andrea. Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion passes. So the next is the calendar, Jeremy, if you can pull up the calendar.
Pulling up now. I have too many things open.
We just have to make sure, Jeremy, that in September, if I forget, or if I'm still alive, please remind us that we have to vote on two months minutes, the May minutes and the June minutes.
Yeah, so I will, we'll get to, Veronica won't forget. And I'll work on the agenda ASAP for September. At least so I have a base. So July, there's Independence Day and then Eid for the calendar. For August, I think there's just one, the Feast of Assumption. Now remember, thanks to Rabbi here, we only put on holidays that are on the alternate side parking calendar. That's what the city puts out. I think that's what we should follow. It makes it easy. It makes it simple, at least easy for me, because we can go crazy with the holidays, like for some of them. The issue here is September. So I don't know I don't know. I know recently when we had a holiday on a Jewish or a committee meeting on a Jewish holiday, because nobody on the committee was Jewish. I know that they still had the meeting. Transportation got moved from the 6th to the 13th. The I moved the leadership committee from the 16th because of Yom Kippur to the 23rd, because I know that's probably the most important Jewish holiday out there. And then Ken, I don't know about ethics on Sukkot, because then you also have, I believe this is an Israeli holiday, but it's on our calendar. It's on the NewYorkCity.gov calendar.
It's a Jewish holiday. Well, actually, it's in the United States.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah. I mean, yeah, huh? Yep. I mean, it's on our calendar for a reason. So, but the question is, what are we gonna do about ethics, which you're on for the 21st?
Are we doing the calendar? No, we have to do the September calendar. I guess you have to. I can't go. I won't be able to be there. I'd like to have it moved.
So, I mean, we don't have John here. Veronica's on the committee. Yahi, you're on the committee. I know Mondays were bad for you. The night of the 22nd, is that bad for you, Ken? Is the holiday over then at that point? Wednesday, the 22nd, the second day?
Depends what time sunset is that day. That's what I got to look at. See.
Okay.
Jeremy, add budget to the September calendar.
Yeah. Where?
Pick a day. Where are we gonna have these meetings?
That's the other question.
If they're virtual, it can be any day.
That's the other thing. We will, so I think the committee meetings, we might be safe to have them here in the office again, but the real issue, I think, is the full board.
I happen to like the virtual meetings this way, so this way I feel more people attend when it's a committee meeting. But that's only my own personal opinion. So just stick me down for whatever day.
Probably a Monday then.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to play with Yom Kippur or anything like that. So maybe the 20th.
Don't
What
I have
time?
to say a public hearing in September?
I think we have to do it in September or October.
So let's do it at the beginning of the month.
So you want to do the beginning of September or the beginning of
Do it this for the 13th, and we'll do it virtually, hopefully.
all right, so we have transportation the same night.
I don't
What
think that's
time?
gonna make a difference.
What
7
time?
o'clock also.
Okay. Oops. I think I will have to double check, but I think legally we can have virtual meetings.
You put transportation twice.
Yeah, I know that's why I'm pressing delete right now. So I know the state said you can have virtual meetings as long as you have video and audio recording. I don't know if that will carry over to the city. Now this is outside of COVID.
Just put it on and we'll worry about it in August.
Yeah, so I think whatever we approve tonight should be a preliminary approval. Because again, I'm not sure Einstein's gonna allow us to go back there.
So we're not sure. You can go virtual in September. By that time, we should know, and then we can make a decision to go in person for the following, for the rest of the meeting, for the rest
Well,
of the year.
the other thing too, Al, is right now, with the exception of this, I would say error for education, they all say click here and it goes to the agenda. And the agenda is what is going to dictate where we meet. So
Do we
I
know
guess we
if
can.
there's any? I'm sorry, Jeremy.
What's that?
I was going to say, do we know if there's any conflict with members on the two committees? Is there anybody in transportation that's going to miss out on budget or vice versa?
Yeah, Lisa Soto is one.
That's
Daisy
what I was thinking.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrea. So do you want to shoot for like 6 o'clock on the 13th? Andrea?
Sorry, they work, so 6 o'clock, I don't think it would be good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, it would not be good for Lisa if, yeah. I know Daisy it would work for if it's virtual. I
Jeremy,
don't know about Lisa.
If we go, well, you could pick basically any day because you can double up with somebody else because you're having it at 7 o'clock and they can have it 7 o'clock at, if it's virtual, it doesn't matter.
So
What
move
about-
it to Tuesday, the
Yeah,
14th.
Tuesday, I don't think there's any conflict between those two committees.
Okay.
I mean, Joe, I don't think so. I don't, because he has Sandy, Joe, Mulaney. I don't know if there's anyone else. I think that's it. So, okay, so Tuesday the 14th.
Jeremy, what day did you want the ethics committee to be?
You tell me, Ken. I know Yahe has conflicts on the 20th and on Mondays. Will you have conflicts in September, Yahe?
Reference the ethics committee. I don't have any, I won't have any conflicts in it because it's a committee meeting. Most likely it'll be short. So even if I'm at work, I can make it work.
Well, I think, I think, I don't know, the chairman of that committee is gonna have to speak to his committee because I know he wants to meet in person.
Yeah. And reference the general meeting. I think Maestros would open their doors to us.
Okay. Yeah, that's
What
right.
do you think? What do you think, Al? If we had it in person, the next general meeting.
Yeah, I'm
In
sure,
September.
I'm sure they will allow us to use their place.
So what, how can we just plan for that? And if things go bad, then we just switch to virtual. It's easier to do it that way for planning purposes.
Okay, but in terms of ethics, I think we were talking about the 22nd because, so Yahe, if it's in
Yeah, but
person,
the
is it Monday?
22nd for Ken, 6:53 is sunset for the 22nd. So having it at 7 p.m. is too close unless we move it to 7:30 p.m.
Oh,
well,
8
it is
o'clock
8
is what
p.m.
we normally have it at.
Yeah,
but
it's gotta,
yeah.
it would have to be 8 o'clock because it's sunset plus 50 minutes.
Okay.
So
So I
8
don't
o'clock would
mind
work for you, Ken? So 50 minutes would be, that should work for you though, right? 6:45 to 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock would work for me.
Okay.
I'm sorry to jump back on for the budget thing, just so Andrea knows. That's the first Tuesday and I have our Allerton Merchants meeting that day, so I probably won't be able to join the committee meeting that night.
Okay.
What would be a good night for you?
How about the 20th, Andrea?
No, because if we have to have a public hearing and I don't remember when it has to be by, I would rather it be at the beginning of the month.
I'm pretty sure it has to be by October at the latest.
Okay, so Veronica, the 20th, okay with you?
That's perfect for me. Thank you.
I mean, I can double check.
All right, leave it the 20th and we can always change these things.
Okay. So everybody else is their normal meeting time. I would say, well, I don't, yeah, I think everybody else, there shouldn't be conflicts, at least with the individuals. I mean, does anybody have a problem with any of these other committees?
I really don't think you should have meetings on Rosh Hashanah, whether there's a Jewish person on that meeting or not, that committee or not. But that's
So
my own personal opinion.
And what, so would the second day of Rosh Hashanah be the same thing? Sundown,
After, yes, correct,
and then 15 minutes plus that, right?
correct.
All right, so I'll speak to the chair people of those committees. But Sukkot? Rosh Hashanah is more important than Sukkot, to my knowledge, right?
In my opinion, but I'm not the religious one here. You got Rabbi and you got Kenny, ask them.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting. Ken?
talk about it as being who observes it more, and with the not importance, but Rosh Hashanah is observed by more Jews than Sukkot is.
So you think we're
So
okay here?
That's how I would.
You think you're okay here with public safety? I mean, we don't have many people attending that, right? Veronica and Yahe?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think.
If you want to have, can you put public safety on the 22nd at 8 o'clock? Also,
We have
Well,
a couple of people on public safety that are also on ethics, so it would be a conflict.
Yeah, especially when we met in person, we would have the public safety committee meeting, and we would just end the recording for that and start the recording for ethics. It was like a perfect transition. That's why we had them back to back.
yeah, so we can, so what do you want to do with public safety?
You want to move it to the 27th? Is there anything
Yahe?
on the 27th?
I'm good with that.
they'll probably have the same problem
I
also.
know it's a Monday, Yahe, so it's difficult for you, but I don't know where else to put it.
What's the problem, Ken, with the 27th?
The 27th is going to end up being the same problem because the holiday starts the night before.
Oh,
Put it the
Yeah.
week before, Jeremy. On the Tuesday before.
the health?
Yeah,
Well, the question is, are you gonna be meeting in person, Veronica, or if we can do virtual, you'll do virtual? Would,
Yeah, if it's virtual, we'll do virtual, just so it's easier for everybody.
okay. I don't, Joe Bako, do you plan on meeting virtual or in person if you can, if you meet on the 14th? I'm not, you start 6 on mute, Joe?
Jeremy, why don't we just assume that we're gonna go virtual in September? Except, the only exception would be those people that really want to have it in person. And those chair people can have it in person. Everyone else can go virtual. And this way you don't have to worry about conflicts at different times. You can have it at the same time on the same night. So, and
Right,
then we
correct.
could work out we can get rid of all the glitches before our next meeting in October.
Okay, the rest of it looks fine, right?
Diana Finch.
has joined the meeting.
Everybody else? Hazel,
What
we're good?
what about what on the
Yeah.
equity? You're having the equity committee meeting on the 8th.
Well, yeah, those two are, we got already, remember, I already said I would talk to the chairs of those two committees. That aside, are we okay? Now put question marks here. Oh, and while we're on the calendar, so if I move ahead, Yahe, to June of 2022, I can say, I can create check for fireworks. Now, I think they're usually the week before. They're not usually if they can do it the week before the 4th, I could be wrong. Whatever, I put it here, that should work, right?
Yeah, as
Yeah.
long as you have it on the calendar, it's a reminder for us with the month before. I will check with the elected officials and see when they're gonna have it, and we can always make any changes we have to make.
So as long as we actually read this.
can you go
next year-
back to the September calendar when you get a second?
Yep. Okay,
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. So I'll do that with equity too. All right. We done with the calendar?
I think so.
So we discussed so number 4 is committee chairs. We discussed that already. Then we go to the
No, wait.
gallery.
Do we need to vote on the calendar?
It's up to you. If you want to, we can. I would say we
Alright.
voted on it based on certain conditions.
Yeah, vote on it tentatively unless there's any changes that need to be made during the summer.
All right, so I make a motion to vote on the tentative calendar that we just saw. Do we have any, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Al. Objections? Abstentions? All right, motion passes. What's next on the agenda, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's a gallery session.
All right, so let's see.
Just a reminder before we go into the gallery session, Jeremy reminded everybody to read the transportation information that you sent out. So this way we don't double up on questions that have already been answered.
Yeah. So
and watch the video too.
Yep. So we don't want any redundancies, basically. So Joe Thompson texted me, he asking for the link for tonight. So I just sent it to him.
I
Okay.
can go first if no one else wants to go. Hi, it's Sergio.
So hold on a second.
Sure.
Trying to go with the order that I have it here. Whose phone number ends in 70? Is that someone?
I think it's Diana Finch.
Okay.
Diana, do you have a 917 number? You still in? Hello? I mean, Bob Press was here first. I know that.
Okay. I just had it here on my list. But if Jeremy, since you're on a desktop, if you want to go, looks like the person just unmuted themselves with the 70 number.
That's me, Diana Finch, but I don't have anything to say in the gallery. I'm just listening.
Okay, so Bob
Okay.
Press was first. Got it.
Fine. 2 items. Bylaw amendments must be in the written notice of the agenda. So whatever you have, it has to be in the written notice of the agenda, just so you know. Number 2, I have requested the minutes of the May executive session meeting that the board had since the borough president's office upheld my complaint that the board did not have the right to go into that executive session, which meant that it was still the public meeting. When will those minutes be available to me?
So the minutes for the full board meeting are online. How did you request this? Because I don't, who'd you?
I sent you, I sent Al, I believe the chair of the ethics committee. I sent 4 people a request for those
Okay,
minutes,
I see it
including your
now.
attorney.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't see it. I see it now. Thank you. I mean, when I spoke to the state yesterday, you know, they told me it's unless you vote, you don't.
The
You don't
board
need
did
to
hold a
provide-
vote during that.
No.
It's supposed to have been a public meeting.
It
So
did not. We did not vote in an executive session.
then why did Tom Lucania said that the vote was no good?
We didn't take a vote. We did not take a vote in executive session.
Fine, then there should be minutes of that meeting.
There are minutes of the meeting.
The executive session part,
No.
the community board cannot go into a private meeting. That would be
Okay.
considered a private meeting. All of the members who were in that meeting should be banned from the community board then. That's a conflict of interest.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Next person on the
Fine.
list here.
It's going to go to the conflict of interest board guy then, if that's what you
That's fine.
want.
That's fine,
Right.
but you're not making the call that you're gonna ban all the board members, Bob. Thank you.
No, it's going to
We'll
go to
move
the
on.
conflict.
Okay, that's fine. You go that route if you need to. So we'll move on to the next gallery speaker,
Sergio?
Sergio.
Hi, guys. So as leaders of your own committees, I think being able to discuss the challenges your individuals committees might face is super important to you guys. One suggestion. See if you can come up with a simple 5-question poll to gauge how your committee members felt about the meeting they just finished, right? So one question would be on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate last month's committee meeting? Question 2, do you feel that we accomplished everything we set out to in the agenda? A simple 5-poll question gives you a good temperature for how your committee's feeling, and also when you guys come back to the leadership meeting, you guys can share that feedback with each other. And I think kind of like you would at a best practices meetings, find ways to help improve the morale of your committee, find ways to get everyone more engaged and more excited about your agenda items and your projects. And I think it just helps to improve the overall operations of the community board at large. That's it. Thank you.
I
That's a
agree.
good
Good
idea.
point.
That's a good idea, Sergio. One of the things that we do, I mean, we're pretty open to any kind of criticism from the board, from members itself. But that's a good idea. And if somebody doesn't want to verbalize it publicly, they can put it down on paper. You come up with some good ideas, Sergio. I'm glad you're jumping in every once in a while.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, this is good. I like surveys and I like polls. I've done a couple of them on the community board, so that's always good. At least you get people to engage, especially for the shy ones. Anyone else on the gallery session?
No, that's it.
All right, old business? New business? All right, does anyone have anything else? Because we don't need a motion to adjourn.
7:52 PM.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good night. We'll talk to everybody next week.
Night, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Jared, don't leave. I want to ask you something.
Hold on. Let me stop the recording.